very good evening to you. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday evening so far. We've got a lot tabled in for you today. Remember, you can interact with us at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms. But first, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tonight,
sasa hii nyumba yangu imechomwa, mahindi imechomwa, fiti imechomwa, kila kitu kimechomeka.
8 houses torched in Olmoran area.
Na hao askari watakuwa hapa, kazi yao ni patrol. Usiku tuna patrol hapa kila mahali kuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu amekaa kwa amani.
As Matiang'i sets up new police base in Laikipia.
Due to the current pandemic that we're experiencing, our young people are experiencing unemployment as well as heightened anxiety levels.
4 people commit suicide in Kenya every day.
The social factors that put men at risk is actually related to their work environment.
We shall tell you why corona numbers are high among men compared to women.
Welcome to the broadcast. Mini Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. I am Muthoni Minor. Now, hundreds of people have been left stranded as they flee their homes following the banditry attacks in Olmoran area, Laikipia County. The residents of Dam Samaki and Survey areas in Olmoran today woke up to a deadly inferno that consumed at least 10 houses. Musa Salah reports.
Dying smokes and debris of what has become of these houses is what residents of Olmoran in Laikipia County woke up to on Friday morning, a mark left behind by bandits who have terrorized this small town for at least 2 weeks now. Margaret Wangeshi is one of the victims of the latest banditry attacks in Olmoran. On Thursday last week, an unknown number of assailants ambushed their house late at night, stabbing her husband to death before torching their house.
Wakapiga murago na shoka, ikafunguka wakaingia. Kuingia walipiga mzee, akaanguka chini. Walikuwa na mkuki na makisu. Saa ile alianguka, mmoja anatoa kisu na muduga.
Wangeshi managed to hide under her bed, although momentarily, as she watched her husband die, her pain gave her away, leading the bandits to her. She would later be left in the middle of the thick forests of the Laikipia Nature Conservancy.
Niliingia kwa makihiga huko, nikalala huko ndani. Saa 10 ikifika wakati hii magari inaliaga, nikakuja na hii matawa ya town, nikakuja pole, nikatokea hapa town. Vibaya sana. Hata damu karibu kusimama. Kwa natetemeka tu kwa msituni.
According to Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i, the banditry attacks in Laikipia are fueled by politicians propagating hate among residents along tribal lines, warning them against inciting their supporters.
Ni aibu eti kusikia kuna mtu awe kiongozi awe nani kusema eti fulani wa fulani hawatakiwi kukaa hapa. Kila mwananchi wa Kenya, mahali popote unapata shamba na unataka kufanya kazi yako, umechagua serikali na uko na serikali, uko katika nchi yako, ukae ufanye kazi yako, usomeshe watoto wako, uendelee.
However, residents of Lomotonyi village in Laikipia have criticized police officers patrolling the area for alleged discrimination, claiming that the officers had shot and killed 34 kettles, injuring 8 others. According to Mzele Shalote, they are equally landowners with original title deeds, even as CS Matiang'i insists that no one would be evicted.
Sisi hatukukuwa na maneno mengine, sisi ni kuendelea tu, yani kufuga ng'ombe yetu, lakini tumeshangaa sana na hakuna shamba ya mtu yoyote imewahi kuingia, ate imekula mmea wakaanza kupiga ng'ombe marisi.
Margaret Wangeshi is just one of the many victims of banditry attacks here in Olmoran, Laikipia County, and she is hopeful that her husband, who was brutally murdered on Thursday, will get justice, even as the government continues to deploy more officers to patrol the area. Musa Salah, TV47, Olmoran, Laikipia County.
It is indeed a devastating situation there, as victims will definitely have those tortured incidences engraved in their minds as tension is high in Olmoran area. Now, still on that matter, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has created a new sub-county in Laikipia to tame the runaway insecurity in the area. This is aimed at taming the cases of insecurity and bringing services close to the people. Mike Kagwango reports.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i said an entire police division will be stationed at the newly gazetted Kirima division and 2 additional police stations established in an area that's prone to the bandit attacks.
Kazi ya kwanza ni kuleta DC mpya ambaye atakuwa hapa Olmoran kuanzia leo. Hii ni headquarters ya sub-county ya Kirima na DC wenu ni huyu hapa Bwana Orata. Tumeleta DC huyu, DC mpya, tumemwapoint DC ametoka pande ile Karibu Tifare. Huyu ndio DC wenu mpya, atakuwa hapa DC na atakaa hapa nyumba na mambo mengine, atakuwa hapa. Yeye ni DC, atakuwa akizungumza na kusuluhisha maneno haya ambayo yako hapa.
Speaking at the Olmoran Trading Center that is hosting families displaced by the attacks, the CS also announced a training base for allied police officers will be set up in the area and more police reservists hired and armed.
Tutakaa hapa, safari hatuwezi kuingia hapa wiki moja mbili tumeenda. Sasa tutakaa hapa. We are going to be here in a sustained. Tutakaa sio wiki moja namna hii, hapana. Tunataka kuweka presence hapa. Hata hii area hii ya Olmoran tumekubaliana na Inspector General wa polisi. Sasa kuna kambi moja tuko nayo pande ile ya Kajiado tunatumia kutrain commandos. Sasa hapo Olmoran shamba hii moja tutaanza kutrain commandos hapa kwa polisi.
He said the steps being taken by the government were not a short-term exercise but a sustained operation. Matiang'i directed the reopening of schools that have closed due to insecurity beginning Monday and assured residents enough police officers will be deployed to ensure safety. As an immediate relief, the CS donated assorted foodstuffs, bedding and iron sheets to more than 150 affected families.
Mahali saa 12 na kupata, unalala hapo. Kama ni kwa jirani, unalala hapo. Ukipatikana nje saa 12 na dakika 10, wewe tutakuchukulia kama ni bandit na ni muhalifu, na kusema tu kweli ni uhakikishia hadharani tutakutandika.
Na swala la hii shamba iko hapa. Hii shamba serikali ichukue hiyo shamba, i-manage, ilete KWS hapo.
Meanwhile, Nakuru Human Rights Defenders Network has faulted the government of failing to tame political leaders to ensure peace in the volatile Laikipia County.
We have people in this country that we pay a lot of money called NIS. It's their work to detect, deter, and disrupt any plans to cause insecurity.
Kuna watu wamelala na tumesema wazi, aidha kuna watu katika serikali wanaelewa haya maneno na wanataka kuleta machafuko.
Elsewhere, Kenya National Congress and Pentecostal churches and ministries have also condemned the ongoing Laikipia skirmishes, calling on the political class to cease inciting the electorates.
We are coming out very clearly to say to the politicians, if you think you earn your votes through fighting, you will not get in this country. We are saying we want to campaign without bitterness.
Sasa tunatoa onyo. Na wakati tunatoa onyo, hakuna haja ya kutanja fulani. Tunasema wote kuanzia leo, they must behave.
In Nakuru, Tiati Member of Parliament William Kamket has been released on a police cash bail of 500 Kenyan shillings pending his arraignment in connection with the skirmishes in Laikipia County. Kamket was set to take plea on Friday afternoon, but the matter was vacated and the mentioned date pushed to Tuesday next week.
Uchunguzi haujakamilika. Hakuna sababu yoyote kushikilia Mkenya ama binadamu katika jela ya polisi ndani ya siku 14 wakati hakuna uchunguzi umefanywa.
Principal Magistrate Lilian Arika directed that the cash bail be deposited in court. The court further barred the legislator from making public comments or utterances regarding the case. Kamket was arrested on Wednesday at his Kositei home in Tiaty, Baringo County and driven to Nakuru by detectives from Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI. For TV 47, I'm Mike Kagwango.
Now let's hope that the new deployment and measures implemented will curb the banditry attacks also serving the people of Laikipia. Now, ever since the COVID-19 pandemic began in late 2019, the number of infections and deaths have been higher in men compared to women. Scientists alluding to both biological and social factors as major determinants for these disparities. But as our health reporter Zainab Mohammed now tells us, the social-economic factors may just be the more dominant determinants, with factors such as occupational hazards, cultural norms, and even health-seeking behavior playing a critical role in causing the disparities.
Creating hope through action is the 2021 theme for the World Suicide Prevention Day. The Ministry of Health Since its inception close to 2 years ago, one thing that has stood out throughout the entire period of the COVID-19 pandemic is the significant disparity in the number of infections and deaths being recorded in males compared to females. And even though further research is being conducted in order to determine whether there are deeper biological elements informing the occurrence, renowned virologist Professor Omwanzala tells me men could be expressing more receptors than women.
There is a critical look at whether there is any biology related to this. Because we know that viruses don't just infect any cell. Viruses are very specific in the cells that they do infect. Because there must be something we call, so on a cell there must be something that a virus binds onto before it can actually go inside and infect that cell. Things we call receptors. So there is a thought that maybe men express more of these receptors than women, but that is a story that is still under investigation.
He, however, insists the determining factors go beyond biology as cultural upbringing informs lack of health-seeking behavior in men more than women.
We are told men don't cry. It all starts there, isn't it? Because if you cry, you are perceived to be what? To be weak. All right? So that is the culture that as we talk of gender issues and health and gender disparities and health-seeking behavior, you must critically look at culture. How do we bring up the boy child? And how we bring up the girl child? Those things start there.
Professor Omu further says occupational risk hazards undergone by men could also be higher.
The social factors that put men at risk is actually related to their work environment. If you just take Kenya, for example, you'll actually find that majority of men are in border industry. Majority of men are the taxi drivers. Majority of men are the ones who are in hotel industry. And we are fully aware that the more contacts somebody comes across on a daily basis, the higher the chance that they are going to get infected.
This further translating to the number of COVID-19 related deaths occurring in men than in women.
The high mortality in men could actually be nothing other than that men present themselves to hospital when it's too late. All right? You've been having a problem, but you keep working. When you cannot completely work is when now you seek health care. But by that time, it's already too late. All right? And when it is too late, the chance of passing away are much higher.
Statistics from the Ministry of Health showing between March 2020 and September 2021, 58% of the total COVID-19 infections have been recorded among men vis-a-vis 42% that was recorded in women. In terms of deaths, 3,029 deaths recorded in the country were among men, whilst 1,801 deaths were recorded among women. Experts, however, say one factor that may just be a tipping point in the disparities is COVID-19 vaccinations, as data from the Ministry of Health shows 1.15 million men have already gone for their jabs against a small number of 975,000 women. This, though, is not enough for an impact just yet. Going forward, Professor Omo says the government needs to invest in behavior change programs in order to get men inclining towards health-seeking behavior at an early age.
What we are trying to advocate for working upstream and for looking for promotive and preventive modalities, and maybe opening up centers that will be geared to actually looking at normal people who just want regular checkups to detect any problems as early as possible. That would be the direction to take. And then companies can be encouraged to talk to their employees, who are mainly men, isn't it? You know, boda, taxi drivers, hotel industry, all these places that employ large population of people. Ministries can be encouraged that your employee must have a yearly checkup. And that yearly checkup, it should be made voluntary, but it should be encouraged as much as possible, that this is a good thing to do.
The country has today recorded a total of 661 cases, 332 of them among men and 329 among women. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Thank you, Zainab Mohammed, for that health check factor that shows that men could be expressing more receptors than women when it comes to dealing with COVID-19. And now that report takes us for a very fast short break. We will be right back with more. Do stay tuned.
Common. Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV 47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi mbili tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also a very nice lighting and gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. Project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
We are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet Njoki, on the grind as business entrepreneurs tell us the tales of their business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Our version of Kilimo Diaries is different. Crops, livestock, all working together. Everything has a purpose, from land preparation, management, and not forgetting the market space. No farmer puts down his tools, and neither do we. Your Farmer's Daily Diary with Sandra Wahito every Sunday.
Welcome back to TV47 Weekend. Now, as the world commemorates the Suicide Prevention Day, suicide is said to be the fourth leading cause of deaths in the world. Here in Kenya, it is reported that 4 of the deaths daily is as a result of suicide. The government, through the Ministry of Health, is calling for concerted efforts in creating awareness and fighting the vice.
Creating hope through action is the 2021 theme for the World Suicide Prevention Day. The Ministry of Health has joined the world in commemorating the day. Speaking during the event, the Chief Administrative Secretary for Health, Dr. Rashid Aman, outlined some of the contributing factors, including stress, mental conditions, hopelessness, job or financial loss, and relationship breakup.
No, we lose about four lives every day due to suicide. Our young people are experiencing unemployment as well as heightened anxiety levels, leading to increased use of alcohol, breakups in relationships, and the upsurge of domestic violence.
Brian Maina, a suicide survivor, says that the act of committing suicide is a formation of ideas that occur in a person as a result of something that has been a challenge for some time.
Ni kitu iko akilini, ni kitu ina build up. Na ndio maana tunasema ni vizuri kuongea. Unaweza kulegeza hiyo mzigo, at least isikue too heavy on you. Na hiyo ndio shida yenye nilikuwa nayo, sikuweza open up kwa mtu.
On his part, sexual abuse and depression led to his mental illness, which he says was the major trigger for the suicidal thoughts. Though he says he's still on his recovery journey, he's calling on saying dialogue is therapeutic and can help curb the vice.
Kitu moja naweza kusihi ni uweze kupata mtu ambaye unaweza trust na mambo yako na open up.
Dr. Aman has also called for concerted efforts among Kenyans to raise awareness on suicidal behavior and to promote actions that will reduce the number of suicide cases and suicide attempts.
We must be compassionate to each other. We must practice kindness. We must be patient with each other and support one another.
In 2019, 1 out of 100 deaths, which is 1.3%, was as a result of suicide. Globally, statistics show that approximately 703,000 people die by suicide every year, with 58% of the deaths reported to occur before the age of 50. The global suicide rate is twice high in men than women. Faith Weru, TV47.
Now on to political matters, as Mount Kenya East leaders have settled on one political party ahead of next year's general election. The leaders, led by National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, says he will use the party to vie for the presidency in next year's general election. It is clear now that the politics of Mount Kenya East may take a different direction after hundreds of leaders who hope to defend their seats in next year's general election in the 3 counties of Meru, Embu and Tharaka counties agreed to form a new party that champions for their interests.
Sisi tunataka come 2022 watuunge mikono utusaidie Justin Muturi awe rais wa Kenya.
Na sisi kama watu wa Embu hatuta wa let down. Tutashikana sisi sote, tumshikilie JB.
Mount Kenya East has postponed the conference 3 times now, and after much lobbying, the leaders, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, have agreed that the Mount Kenya East politics must take a different direction. The 3 counties will come up with a new strong party that Speaker Muturi will use to vie for the presidency in the next general election.
Tumechoka. Kila mtu akisimama akitoka upande wa Mount Kenya East anasema kuna ndugu zake Mount Kenya East. Sisi tuende tumuongezee kura zetu ndiye apande kwa kiti, akalie kiti, akikalia anasahau sisi.
JB Muturi hereby declare my candidature for the position of the President of the Republic of Kenya come 2022.
However, this may scuttle Deputy President William Ruto's efforts to penetrate well into Mount Kenya East. APK party popularity known as Bus Association is likely to be the vehicle the leaders from Mount Kenya East will use to accelerate their agenda.
Namtuma huko ndio atakuwa anatetea vitu ikigawa. When they are sharing for the whole country, we should get our share.
Now, the president's directive to end FGM by 2022 seems to be a pipe dream, with stakeholders saying there is need to change strategy to win the war against FGM. Patronila Goren reports.
Speaking in Baringo County, the County Education Director Solomon Letangule has said that the government will not be able to achieve its goal of eradicating FGM in the country by 2022.
There are quite a number of challenges in this regard, because you realize that female genital mutilation is a cultural practice, and just like many other cultural practices, the various cultures, the people in the community hold these cultural practices so dear to them. Sometimes there are also, emotional attachments to these cultures, and therefore there's need for us to adopt a consultative, a collaborative approach.
Letangule added that many female genital mutilation cases continue to be reported in the country, citing that the best technique is to create awareness to the community instead of taking legal action against those that are performing such acts.
To achieve true socio-economic transformation of our societies, we must be able to shed some of the retrogressive cultures such as female genital mutilation. So indeed there are quite a number of challenges, because this practice is cultural in nature, and therefore just like many other cultural activities, it may not end immediately.
According to the founder of a non-governmental organization, Sauti ya Dada Africa, Lilian Kosgei, there is an increase of FGM cases in Tiaty area. Research showing that many of those performing such activities are doing it secretly, with many girls being married off at an early age. However, it has been noted that FGM is now being perpetrated in West Pokot.
Where I come from, most girls have not gone to school. Most girls are still being subjected to these retrogressive cultures like female genital mutilation and child marriages. So the lack of these institutions has really limited girls from achieving their dreams in life. One of the reasons that makes us not achieve this by 2022 is the approaches that we've been using before. Some of these approaches were biased. Some of these approaches were not workable in a setup that is entirely patriarchal. For example, without involving the men in this fight, we've realized that we are not going to finish FGM.
There are people who want to popularize themselves in our community. They go working, maybe they are employed in Nairobi, they live in Nairobi, and they come like talking to us, telling us which direction to take in life. They come and tell us, don't lose your identity by breaking away your culture. And by doing this, they themselves do not even circumcise their daughters.
Stakeholders say the fight against FGM is likely to succeed if the community is fully involved. Patronila Goren for TV47.
Thank you, Patronila Goren, for that report. Now let's cross over to Facebook. For a bit, I can see Enos Omodi saying he is tuned in. Thank you so much. James, I see you as well. Jane, thank you so much. You tuned in from Nakuru. I see Dixon in there as well. Remember, you can keep your feedback and comments trickling in right there at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms. Now it's time to take yet another short break. We will be right back with more.
Those abled differently also have immense ability.
Maybe we are not good in both, but we can be good in life.
They reach beyond the limits in their special, different way.
If the society can just be careful in what they call them and how they refer to them, that would at least be better.
They need to be loved. They have feelings. They would like to give love. It's a natural thing.
Catch their story on Beyond the Limit on TV47 every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
The brain does not exactly know how to differentiate physical pain from the psychological.
Nilikuwa na feel nimefeel hata watoi wangu.
This month, our sisters, mothers and friends share their heartfelt stories of the pain and struggles with Joy Irongo.
We are all about being authentic and sharing our lifetime experiences to speak hope and empower a woman who's probably going through a rough patch.
Join us as we unravel the heartache.
So the doctor told me she has only 2 weeks to live.
Mimi nilikaa tu miezi 2 tu nikiwa na furaha kwa ndoa.
Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
Are you looking to buy a home? Or are you looking to build one, yet you don't know where to start? Well, The Realtor is your home of real estate development information, whether you are looking to invest in the city or outside the city. We link you with the experts in the field, be it designing.
We have also a very nice lighting and then gypsum decoration on the top of the ceiling.
Roofing.
When you involve a professional in your construction, there is a difference. Project that has been delivered by a professional person and a project that has not been delivered by a professional person.
Interiors.
What we are trying to go is for a mix of European and Middle Eastern look.
Everything all under one roof. Join us every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m.
Any waste stream in our society can be turned into a revenue stream. Basically, turning lemons to lemonade. It could be a restaurant, animation industry, artistry, or even fitness. Just like the sweet and sour taste of lemons, businesses have their highs and their lows. Join me, Violet Njeki, on the grind as business entrepreneurs tell us the tales of their business every Monday at 7:30 p.m.
Our version of Kilimo Diaries is different. Crops, livestock, all working together. Everything has a purpose, from land preparation, management, and not forgetting the market space. No farmer puts down his tools, and neither do we. Your Farmer's Daily Diary with Sandra Wahito every Sunday at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back. Now, DCI boss George Kinoti has assured families whose kin have disappeared in the past few months under mysterious circumstances of answers will have answers in the next 7 days. The promise follows a meeting between Kinoti and a section of Muslim leaders held on Friday at the DCI headquarters in Nairobi in the wake of the abduction of Horn of Africa analyst Abdi Wahab Sheikh Abdi Somad on Wednesday at the Nairobi Central Business District. David Muthoka reports.
As the probe into the puzzling disappearance of Horn of Africa analyst Abdi Wahab Sheikh Abdi Somad, who was allegedly abducted by 4 men in broad daylight a few meters from City Market, Nairobi on Wednesday, entered its second day on Friday, efforts by a section of the Muslim community leadership to seek audience with DCI boss George Kinoti over the matter bore fruit this afternoon. And after a one-on-one with Kinoti that lasted for more than 1.5 hours, the leaders left the Kiambu Road headquarters beaming with optimism that the probe into the mysterious disappearances that have given a handful of families sleepless nights is on the right trajectory.
We have got a commitment from the DCI that they are going to get back to us in the next 1 week or so on the level of the investigation they have undertaken to ensure that those Kenyans who have been actually picked up by suspected security people in the streets of Nairobi and Mombasa, we are going to receive a full comprehensive report from them.
This comes barely a day after the family of 55-year-old Abdi Wahab demanded answers from the government over the whereabouts of its kin, who is alleged to have been kidnapped by security officials.
All Kenyans must have their rights respected. None of us condones insecurity of any crime. None of us condones crime or terrorism in any way.
That as pressure mounts on the state to produce another man of Muslim origin, 44-year-old Yasir Ahmed, who was an ambulance driver in Lamu at the time he went missing.
And since his abduction, the vehicle was a GK, and the people who are uniformed, that was all witnessed by many, and his vehicle was towed later to Beketoni police station. Until to date, and we have cases in Malindi court and Lamu court, they are being summoned to produce him. We said if he is guilty, he should be produced. And if he's not, then we should be told where he is.
All eyes are now on DCI to leave no stone unturned in pursuit for the victims and those behind their disappearances. David Muthoka, TV47.
Moving on, Deputy President William Ruto has defended his hustler narrative, dismissing the Orange Party as bravado. Speaking during a meeting with delegates from Makueni County, Ruto told Raila not to be consumed by the simplicity of the wheelbarrow, but rather tell the people the complexity of the orange.
Wanahangaika sana na wheelbarrow. Mimi nataka niwaambie, gentlemen, do not be consumed by the simplicity of the wheelbarrow. You can as well tell us the complexity of the orange if you wish, instead of being obsessed with the simplicity of the wheelbarrow. Ama? Si namna hiyo? Hii umbrella mnataka ikae namna gani? Na hiyo ingine mko nayo na chungwa, mtueleze ni namna gani? Na wale wako na simba, mtuambie hii simba inakaa namna gani? Na wale wa ndovu na inge mambo ingine watueleze mambo yao. Ama namna gani? Tuache kusumbuana. Tunasumbuana nini?
Why they deliberately sabotage the Big Four agenda was because it was going to empower the masses and the hustler nation.
Hata watu wengine kuokoka. Maisha yangu sijaona Raila mbele ya madhabahu akipiga magoti yaombewe. Ni safari hii baada ya wewe kumsukuma na Ukristo mpaka anauliza huyu Ruto hii nguvu anatoa wapi?
Moving on, a disputed Buxton housing project in Mombasa County will continue as planned despite the push and pull from petitions seeking to stop the project. According to Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, former tenants have been compensated and has dismissed claims of forceful evictions. Liza Mutuko with the details.
You have helped them, and we acknowledge.
Appearing before the Senate Transport and Infrastructure Committee, Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, alongside his land CEC, Godfrey Nato, dismissed claims by the petitioners on the compensation to the Buxton Affordable Housing Plan, saying also the former tenants have been compensated and will be prioritized in the housing scheme.
And I'll also mention CEO Badawi. He did a research on affordable housing, and he clearly noted that 74% of the low middle income earners are between 0 and 50,000 shillings. And at this time of COVID, where do we expect people who are in Buxton, the people who are even very old, the people who are now just juggling about their business, to come and own a unit and call themselves owners?
They to compensate each tenant a sum of Kenya shillings 240,000 for the 2-year relocation period, which translates to Kenya shillings 10,000 per month. The sum paid was an ex gratia grant that was not stipulated in the residence tenancy agreement. Mr. Chairman, the resettlement plan is attached as Appendix 7. The sum to be paid was arrived after considering the public opinion voiced during the public barassas with the residents of the area, the amount of monthly rent that was being paid by the residents of Kenya shillings 3,662 for a 2-bedroom house and Kenya shillings 2,810 for a 1-bedroom house, and also the rent of 2-bedroom units within the neighboring areas, Mr. Chairman.
It also emerged public participation was undertaken, unlike claims made by the petitioners, with Governor Ali Hassan Joho accusing some quarters of politicizing the project.
Kamati yangu tuliokuwa tukiyatetea, nimekuwa na ushirikiano wa hali ya juu na ofisi ya governor na developer ya kutaka kuona kila mpangaji amemiliki nyumba. Kuna wapangaji kadhaa wamesema wao tangu siku walipopewa zile pesa wasema sisi twenda zetu nyumbani na wala haturudi tena, nyumba zenu shauri yenu.
Those houses, when they were built, population of Mombasa was 100,000 in the 70s. Today we are headed towards 2 million. So we have one clear agenda, and we will not be derailed. Let me make it clear. What I expect of the petitioners is to work with us. Where there's shortcomings, we address honestly and candidly so that we move forward.
The committee has directed Governor Joho to hold more meetings which will ensure the matter is resolved amicably before they hand out their report.
The county government of Mombasa, in that engagement, you consider what methods you are going to employ to intervene on behalf of the former tenants as to how then they are going to benefit from the low-cost housing concept as has been programmed and mooted by national government, including those benefits of a long-term loan or long-term repayment period and maybe lowered cost and so on, including how they would, with the assistance of the county government, access those facilities from the financial institutions so that you don't abandon them in the middle. Those are the areas that we think that you.
The 6 billion housing project by Mombasa County is set to develop over 1,000 units, which will see transformation of the county through affordable housing. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mutugo, for that report. Now it's time to get sporty with the dapper man himself, Dennis Otieno, Sports Desk.